Awez, and today we're reacting to Charlie Kirk fatally shot at debates in Utah. I'll be honest with you, bro. I knew about Charlie Kirk before this whole thing, and to see the man sat like that, bro, it's like I've seen many people, many spoken people, get assassinated, but not like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, RIP to the member, bro. RIP to Charlie Kirk, but yo, dog, was crazy how it happened. So let's actually watch it. I don't think they're gonna show it in this video. So let's actually watch the fallout or whatever. So without further ado, comment, like, subscribe, and let's done.
Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm gonna give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
John Solomon's reporting on Just the News.
Yeah, hold up. I just paused it real quick. The reason why they paused it right there was because that's when he got like, you know what I'm saying? And bro, when I saw it at first, because I saw it in another video, that's why because me, personally speaking, I'm not somebody that likes reacting to political videos because of what happened like 2-4 months ago with South Africa and basically they accusing us of basically massacring white people when it didn't happen. But that's why I was like, okay, you know what, this here is not a space that I enjoy being in, so I want to step away. But when I realized, Gucci, it's actually bigger than I thought it would be. This assassination as a whole, it's actually bigger than I thought it would be. I'm like, yo, you know what? Let's actually watch one of these videos and actually watch them properly. Because I went on Twitter, a big mistake, but I went on Twitter to actually see how it happened, and bro, it was gruesome, dog. It was gruesome. You know what I'm saying? At first it was so gruesome that I thought it was AI. That's how gruesome it was. And then you actually see it again in different angles, like, yo, no, this is real. This is real. Water. So, yeah, man, America is very divided right now. Very divided right now, bro. And I want to say maybe it's just, I think if it's the nation as a whole, maybe, I'm not sure. But let's actually find out. Hopefully it's not the nation as a whole, bro. I don't want to see no civil war, bro. You know what I'm saying? I actually like America. I wouldn't say love because of what they did a few months ago, but I actually like them, bro. A lot of people I respect and a lot of people I look up to are from America. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's actually watch this. I'm sorry for this pause, guys. You know what I'm saying?
Is that he's passed? Yes. Is this what I'm hearing? Yes. Can I get it here?
I mean,
Yes. Wow. Right here, we're having this moment, guys. Let's go around the horn, Gene. You continue on the horrendous news that Charlie Kirk has passed.
This is breaking news. At 31 years old, Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point, most notably on the biggest or tied with biggest Jubilee video in the 1 versus 20 series, political commentator, friend of Donald Trump. A lot of people on our side of the internet know him as an antagonizer, has passed away doing one of his prove me wrongs at the University of Utah. Yeah, eerie nonetheless. What started off as seemingly one of his normal videos where he goes to the college campuses where he talks to these kids and has his debates and spreads his message, etc., etc. Couldn't have ended out any way worse than this. I mean, this is the most craziest example of what can go wrong at these events. Before we get to the part where he was slain, it was going just as a normal day would. He was talking about his usual rhetoric, deportation, trans people, DEI, etc., etc. Literally the same normal Charlie Kirk bit.
This is it. Yes, is that fair to say? All right, great. So do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
Okay. Now vibe is a lot, right? I'm gonna give you some.
And this was only moments before he got to the question, which would ultimately be the last one that was posed to Charlie Kirk, where someone asked him, do you know how many mass shooters there have been in the last 10 years in the United States? In which Charlie responded, is this counting or not counting gun violence, before the fatal shot was delivered to his neck, which left him slumped over in his chair. Now, of course, I'm not going to show you anything on this video that is graphic. And I just want to give anybody a fair warning who does go and seek that video out. It is extremely graphic. Like, there's a video of him, the bullet entering his neck, blood spurting. Like, describing it in and of itself is graphic, but I just want to give a warning and a fair warning to anybody that goes out and seeks that video. It's graphic. You just have been warned. Pandemonium commenced. They rushed him off to the hospital, and there was a lot of speculation, but those that had seen the uncensored version kind of had a very good clue about it. And what seemed to be maybe an hour or two later, he was officially pronounced dead at the hospital. Confirmation came down from some right-wing media reports, but then ultimately the one that I went with and saw that I trusted, which is crazy to say, but Donald Trump tweeting it out was the actual reporting that, you know, had me going. And some of the other political commentators like Myron Gaines and whatnot, those are the people that had me believing that this was to be true, plus the actual video in and of itself.
Yeah, so I'm the chairman of the College Republicans of America. I had 5 students working the...
Yeah, from that shot, I don't think anybody could have survived from that shot. That, seek it out, but it's very gruesome, guys. It's very gruesome. If you've never been around those type of environments, if you've never been around that type of setting, don't watch it. I'll be honest with you, don't watch it. Maybe he says go search it, but I'm serious. If you've never been around somewhere where people just, you know what I'm saying, don't watch it. It's not for
event with Charlie.
The
latest updates we're getting from those students, one whose friend is at the hospital and one who's a state rep in Utah, have both said that Charlie has passed. And that is unconfirmed by the news. This is just the word on the ground.
As I record this video, the suspect is still at large. I know that people saw that old Bernie Sanders looking man that was in custody, but apparently that was not the man who did this said event. Apparently the shot came from like 200 yards away, and that person wasn't close enough or something like that, or 200 feet away, I should say. That person wasn't in that proximity, so they let them go. But the shooter is still at large. And as far as I understand now, there's also another shooting that happened in Colorado. So just a bad day in Utah as a whole, where multiple people are either being seen as casualties or fatalities. It's not like any good news coming out of this, depending on which side of the internet you sit on. There have been a lot of mixed reactions about Charlie Kirk in this situation on the internet, because Charlie Kirk is an extremely divisive person.
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal.
And I could go down a clip rabbit hole of all the stuff that Charlie Kirk stood for and was against. I mean, black people, gay people, Hispanic people, immigrants. You know, there was some stuff about women. He is one of the people that are on the same side of a Myron Gaines, of a Nick Fuentes. Just an extremely divisive person. And it's so crazy to say that he still lost his life. But that has the internet in, I don't want to say a conflicted area, because parts of the internet are truly celebratory. Some of this stuff I'm not going to be able to cover on this platform. I suggest that you subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Omeezy, where I will be able to give my unfiltered thoughts on situations like this. My just surface level is that you cannot tell people how to feel when somebody passes away. I don't like to get into the conversation of, well, this is a life that was lost. Those are emotions. To somebody, this person was one thing, and to somebody else, that person was a whole nother thing, right? This person was a bad guy to you, but a savior to, you know, their kinfolk. So I'm not in the place and space where I can tell people how to feel about a situation, what to celebrate or what not to celebrate. And I do think that it's wrong for people to say, you know, you're bad for celebrating, or you're bad for feeling this way about this person, X, Y, and Z, etc., etc. Especially when you have such a polarizing digital footprint.
Not even that, bro. On X, bro, I've seen so much people basically go after people who had an opinion about this assassination. Can I say assassination in Dongas? I don't think I can. Okay, this And basically they would lose their job, bro. They lose their livelihood, bro. Which is a crazy opinion, which is a crazy thing, because I think freedom of speech is a part of this thing, the amendments or the Constitution of America. But because somebody is like it was conflicting to see for me. It was like, bro, okay, wait, you're not about freedom of speech, but when somebody expresses themselves about something that you clearly don't like, that's fair. You have a right to not like that person, to not like what they're saying. Now you're trying to tell them to basically lose their job, lose their livelihood, just keep them quiet and keep them fearful of saying bad things or saying whatever they think, which contradicts your statement. But I understand, because that's how people felt emotionally, but they're not understanding that their emotions are ruining other people's lives at the moment. If the people losing their jobs is true, because again, I was on Twitter, and Twitter is full of lies. Let's carry on.
The interesting thing about all this is now there are people who are advocates on the side of, guns don't belong in schools, that are going to have to go up for Charlie Kirk. I think it's like one of those catch-22 situations, because he ultimately did pass away on school grounds, where people would say, like, guns shouldn't be allowed, we should have gun reform. And he, who is somebody who has been staunchly against gun reform, is going to be used as a symbol or a talking point for the short time being, to say, like, this is the exact reason why we need gun reform, for a guy that is, anti-gun reform. People are going to have their arms twisted. That's just a fascinating conversation.
I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up new age term that it does a lot of damage. But
look, I don't want this to be some sort of long video where I go into some rambly spiel about the situation, because we just have the surface level information about this, plus the entire back catalog of what Charlie Kirk has. But I do want to pose the question to other content creators who are along the similar sphere of Charlie Kirk, and potentially the others that don't have the same beliefs but also are very free, readily available to the public. Is this going to affect how you move going forward? Are you going to change up your patterns, your ideologies, your beliefs, your faith, and all that stuff, because it can cost you your life?
I actually had a debate set up for tomorrow in Asheville, North Carolina.
Are you still going to go to your event? Or are you going to cancel it?
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised.
You gotta cancel it, bro.
I would advise to cancel it, because
cancel it.
Myron, cancel it. Can't be doing this anymore. You can't put yourself at risk.
Yeah, I literally I just got this info like 10 minutes ago, so I obviously I'm still kind of figuring out what the hell's going on. I didn't even really think about Asheville until you guys brought it up.
Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have morals and you don't want to die on a certain hill. This is something worth dying on. But all that stuff sounds great in theory, when especially the stuff that he was championing was more so meant for social media views and clicks. It would be different if he was marching for a different cause or whatever the case may be. But this is ultimately for social media views. And at the end of it all, he has 2 children that are just left without a father, something that he would be very staunchly against. So to those that do these certain things, especially out in public, the ones that go and set up tables and stuff like that and try to have public debates knowing that they are easily locatable and people are searching for them based off of their views, would you change what you do? Even to an iShow Speed. Granted, Speed doesn't have some of the insane takes that Charlie Kirk has. His digital footprint looks nothing like his. But are you going to change being so readily available based off of the events that transpired today? I do think that it's worth looking into, because honestly, removing yourself from like your village and your family because you wanted to generate a bunch of clicks and views by being so outwardly, God, I want to use the right words here, so outwardly outrageous, hyperbolic and so click driven that you want to get a point across. I don't know if it's worth it at the end of the day. In fact, I would say without a shadow of a doubt that it's not worth it. Like, sure, he might have moved the needle in a conversation.
Nothing is worth you losing your life and your family never being there to rely on you. Nothing. Then again, there is other things that would warrant it, but this was not one of them. Definitely not one of them. And of course, when I'm saying this, I'm not saying he deserved it. Of course, I'm not saying that, bro. Like, unless he did some crazy ish to people, no one deserves this. You know what I'm saying? He was just saying his opinions that some people already had. He was just the one to say it. But the same could be said for a lot of people that were considered evil but is he considered evil? I mean, it's who you ask. Yeah. Hopefully, this doesn't become a mountain out of a molehill. Oh, and don't forget, guys, Jeffrey Epstein. We need to not forget the files. That's what we really need to not forget. I don't know. Every time I think about a crazy situation that really just rocks the U.S., I'm like, dog, let's not forget that they need to still find out what happened with the files. Because I'm pretty sure that's what some politicians are doing now, just to hide this. But whatever. You know, this, okay, you see what I just did right there? This is why I don't want to talk about these things. This is why, because like I have my own thoughts and my own things, and I'm like, bro, shut up. Shut up. You know what I'm saying?
Or two when it came to maybe some more conservative viewpoints, but ultimately his kids are left without this. I wonder how this shapes the conversation when it comes to politics and the whole political climate. That's a video in and of itself, but this is so strange. These are fresh thoughts. Patreon.com to get some deeper in-depth thoughts. Charlie Kirk, 31. Wow.
Hold up, guys.
We have a little drama in the influence.
Yeah, there was. It's crazy though. It's crazy that you can just. I mean, it's. I'm not saying it's crazy because it's common. It's very common that when people really speak out their mind on a public stage, and these things that they say is generally having a lot of pushback. It really just take one not mentally tapped person to really change the whole scenario. I think maybe that's what people that's gonna be like anti-gun reform are going to use. That we can't even use our freedom of speech anymore because we're scared that somebody might, you know what I'm saying? So that's something they might do. And then the people that are pro gun reform, they'll be like, in memory of Charlie Kirk, we should always have this. So if somebody that is mentally tapped use something, we can get him back. But now here's the thing though, right? The guns are still here. And this thing happened because somebody had a gun and they were not mentally tapped, or maybe they were informed. Whatever was the reason. I don't know what's the reason. We don't know what's the reason. But mentally tapped, I'm just going to say that for now. Mentally tapped and basically Charlie Kirk. What do we do from then? Because you should have used your, you know what I'm saying, your to show back, but we couldn't. You couldn't find him. So what is the solution then? I think that's where it's gonna really go, this conversation. If this conversation goes any other way, hey, we're gonna cover it because we're already in this. You know what I'm saying? We're in it now. We're in it right now. So yeah, man. R.I.P. Charlie Kirk. Thank you for watching the rest of the video. Thank you for chilling with your own. Comment, like, subscribe. Until next time, I've been the Lost One. We out.